Hey, good evening, Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope, as well as our other streaming channels. And as usual, on Saturdays, we try to do our NFL draft show. And this particular Saturday, we're going to push our NFL draft show to tomorrow night. And tonight, we're just going to just focus on the team that myself, Dwayne, and the brother OG loves, the Dallas Cowboys. We're going to focus on that and give some people in the chat a glimpse of what happens when you get three Cowboy fans together and how we just can't agree on nothing. The only thing that I think we might be able to agree on is that we like the Dallas Cowboys. It's an interesting thing. OG, because you're a guest and not a first guest. We've done shows together.
Yes, sir.
Just explain to everybody who you are and what you're doing with 4G Sports.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm the OG, as he said. Yes, we do have a sports podcast called 4G Sports. It's myself, the King, and the Doc, and we go at it. We have fun. We try to base it mostly about high school and college kids, but we've had some great interviews, and we do have a lot more coming up. And just wanted to say, man, I appreciate this because I'm on a show with a Cardinals fan and a Browns fan, so you know, let's get to it, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
So I'm gonna try to play producer moderator, but I'm gonna chime in. OG, I don't want you to think because me and Dwayne are partners. We're gonna agree on everything because I had this man go back since the 6th grade, and he hung up twice on me for the first time ever in the last 3 months, and one of them wasn't about sports, so I don't blame him for hanging up that time. but the other one was in reference to the Dallas Cowboys, and I said something, and he said, "Are you crazy?" And next thing I know, I heard tone.
Yeah, hang up, man.
So we're gonna get right to it.
You don't take no defensive tackle in the first damn round.
You showed it. Oh yeah, come on, let's go, D. I'm on your side. Let's go, baby.
No, I backed away from that.
Okay.
I backed away. That was one thing about mock drafts and pre-draft thoughts is that that's the only thing that you might be able to renege every now and then and be like, oh, I changed my mind. Because as Dwayne always says, it's so much information that comes out and it's so fluid. And now because the NFL has made that free agency and drafting then switch where free agency is before the draft.
Right.
That now with the salary cap and dealing with COVID, you literally see teams having to gut their franchise.
Sir.
Dallas Cowboys signed their franchise quarterback this week. We could give thoughts on that, but
yeah, I got my jersey at home too.
One of the things, yeah, OG, he bought that jersey one night, messed with me. He was a little
in the spirits.
He was into the spirits, and he was talking to me. And next thing you know, he was ordering a jersey. And when he got the jersey, he was like, "I ordered this. So let's get let's
Prescott jersey.
Let's get to it.
All right.
I'm gonna go to you first, OG.
Yes, sir.
The number one priority for the Dallas Cowboys to draft
To
position.
draft position, I would definitely have to say, I'm a. If you just paid the man, you got to protect the man. You mean we got to get a left tackle. Tyron Smith is getting long in the tooth. I'm thinking we need to get a left tackle. That's first and foremost. First and foremost.
I'm actually, you don't think Tyron will come back and
Even if he does, you got a great insurance policy.
but what
You
about
see what I'm
Brandon
saying?
Knight? Brandon Knight played well last year. He did all right.
Oh, okay. Come on. Let's look at the stats
I'm
from
just
last year.
look. He did all right.
He did
I'm
all
just
right, but if you can get one of these 300-pound men child that's bench pressing buses, you get him. That's another Larry Allen. You get that.
mm. Dwayne. Any thoughts on that?
Well, you know me, I want to trade out of 10. I want to trade out
Now,
of 10. Um, and I want defense, 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 man. I get it. I understand getting an insurance policy, but the trade I'm looking at, man, I want the Bears to come up to 10. I want them to give us 20 and 52. And Q, you know who I've earmarked as the person I want for that Dallas Cowboy defense, and that's Xavier Collins out of Tulsa. He's
mm,
he's he's a difference making linebacker, man. He's a linebacker that won't come off the field because damn near they lined him up at safety sometimes at Tulsa. So he has that
mm,
versatility. And I think this is a deep draft at the cornerback position. So I think you can get you a corner in the second round just like you did Diggs last year. But
Okay,
I don't
Dwayne.
trust I don't trust
Dwayne.
Jalen. I don't trust
You
Jalen. I'm
you
sorry.
know
I
I
know
got
he
to.
had another
mm.
year where he had over 100 tackles, all that. But he also had some times where it was like, which way did he go, George? Like,
So
you know
so
where the
Dwayne.
ball was at.
With OGs where OGs at, do you think that the offensive line is a priority where we should at least draft a lineman, even if he's
Yep.
a
In the
third round tackle or whatever?
second round, you know who I'm going to say, Quentin Ford. Second round, if Jalen Mayfield is there from the University of Michigan, you draft him. He
Yes.
is he's an amazing tackle. He can do it. And it won't cost you in the first round. So if you do that trade with the Bears, you trade down, you pick up that additional second round pick, you can get somebody like either Mayfield or Hudson out of Cincinnati to be that swing young. Mayfield could play the guard or the tackle. So
Hey,
I'm
say,
with that. You paid
So
this man a lot of money, so you
so
need
yeah.
to
OG
protect him.
Yes, sir.
OG at at the 10th pick, you at the 10th pick.
If we okay,
Chicago Bears calling and
calling.
They calling and Penny Sewell is sitting right there at you.
Ugh!
Well, listen,
I might have
Somebody's
to.
messing with you about the Michigan players, Dwayne.
No,
who?
I might have to.
You know I
I
love
might
my
have to.
Wolverines.
I might have to go ahead and get that tackle.
Well, listen,
That
you
Sewell is
changed.
a beast.
Yeah, you changed the subject matter, Quentin. Quentin. If
No,
Panay,
no, no, no. See what I
if
do.
Panay, listen, if Panay Sewell is at 10, you
You
run to the
taking?
clock.
Yeah.
That's the same
There
thing
Okay,
with
is.
CD. That's the same
Penny,
thing with CD
Penny,
Lamb last year.
Penny Sewell, and Slater have both just been picked, and Pitts is sitting there at 10.
Who?
I'm taking Pitts.
Chicago calls.
I'm taking Pitts.
Pitts, Pitts is sitting there at 10. Dwayne.
I'm taking that tight end. I'm taking that. I'm
Well,
sorry.
listen,
Oh,
listen.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
listen. You know what I said yesterday, Q? Would you rather have Michael Gallup and Patrick Surtain the second, or Pitts and Stephon Gallimore?
I'm gonna throw
I'd
that at
rather
OG right now, Dwayne.
I'd rather have
Mm.
Pitts and Stephon
Dwayne,
Gallimore.
hey, OG.
I'm
Yes,
trading
Right,
sir.
Gallup for Stephon
right
Gallimore.
before the draft,
Uh huh.
Bill Belichick called Stephen Jones and said, let's swap third round picks because both of the teams I think got three in the third
Mhm.
round. Let's swap third round picks, one of them,
Uh huh.
and We'll give y'all Stephon Gilmore, and y'all give us Michael Gallup.
See, now you that throws a well. There's some quality. Ah
And then I'm taking Pitts
ah
10. And then I'm taking Pitts 10. And when I got
no
Pitts,
no 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 no. I'm keeping Gallup. I'm keeping that. I'm keeping him. There's no way. There's no way I'm giving up my deep threat. No way. No way.
for Gallimore though,
No, because you can get there's 2 to 3 good corners on the free agent market already.
What's up, Matt
So
Nagy?
so even if you pick up one and then you draft one later on, nah, I can't do it. I can't do it.
are we gonna be
Nah.
able to repay Gallup when his deal is up?
Yeah, he's still on his
Yeah,
rookie deal.
He's a
He
free.
got
Both of them are free agents after next year.
after next year.
you got to take that chance. You got to push the chips on the table. I mean, we've been doing it. We spent a second round pick on Jalen Smith and he was hurt.
True.
Well,
So I mean,
one of the
Did it
if you're
with
things
gonna
that
do
Sean
we
that,
do.
Jackson?
I would just say go sign Fisher and wait for him to heal up, and then you ain't got to worry about no tackle.
True.
That's an interesting move.
You see what I'm
That
saying? So
that's an
if you
interesting
do
move.
that, now if you do that, then Dwayne, I'm with you. You trade the first round,
Mm-hmm.
get an extra second, and you already got 3 and a third. We can clean up on defense and get whatever you need in the first 3 rounds, and you can trade off the rest of the picks. We don't even need them.
Yeah.
That's it. That's that. Let me tell you something, OG. That move that you just said for the teams that got money under the salary cap, that it's not a priority. You can probably sign Eric Fisher for a 2 year deal, probably 5 million, and just let him rest for the first year and have next year on a playing year. That's a very interesting move because he started out as a right tackle. He could always go back to right tackle. That's an interesting move.
I mean, and
Um,
if you're talking about Achilles, come on now. I mean,
yeah,
ACL, he's a tackle.
yeah.
Come on.
So let me ask you guys about another priority, and we know that offensive line is, I would say, priority from a scale of 1 to 10. Offensive line is probably 7. Would be a stretch? It's not a pressing need.
No,
No.
it's not a pressing need, but I would say a want need.
Listen, we
Okay.
need to come out of this draft. I keep telling you, Q, Cowboys need to come out of this draft with 2 corners and 2 safeties. And
Well,
whatever
you
else
got
they do, all right. But you got to come out with that back end help.
OG,
I
how you
mean,
feel about that?
You letting
even with the
Cheeto go, and you letting
right,
my man JD go. So
but you can get what's his name from the Saints?
Kenny
Yeah,
Vicario.
you get him and you grab another safety. You see what I'm
Now you
saying?
know
You
I
can
love
pick up.
Vicario. You know that, Q.
It's
I've been
it's a
wanting him for
lot.
years.
There's a lot of veterans that still got ball left in them
We
Yeah,
have
that's
we have a couple
that can
questions
get
that we had a couple questions in the chat, and I'm gonna just throw them
okay,
up. I mean,
okay.
I know both of y'all got different opinions on them, but if y'all got different opinions on them, and we're not saying that Jalen Smith is over underrated, but this is one thing: Jalen Smith is paid. How is he underrated? Did you see a ghetto intellect? Did you see Jalen Smith playing the peekaboo game this year? What hole is this?
Boo.
What hole is that? What hole is
Okay,
this?
Which
okay,
way to go?
Go
okay,
ahead, OG.
Which way
okay.
to go?
Wait. In his defense, let's let's be let's let's be fair to the defense. There was no offseason. There was no pregame. There was no preseason. You learned a new system, a brand new scheme and system. I didn't think we'd be that good on defense. I knew
And
that was gonna be our Achilles.
Mike Nolan is terrible.
There
Hadn't
you
been an
go.
offensive coordinator
I'm
since
I
2014. He's terrible.
the only thing that I can
And when
say
he was the
about Jalen
defensive
Smith,
coordinator in 2014, his defense was ranked last in the league.
Right.
Jalen Smith to me, him and Van Der Esch's biggest problem this year was they were thinking too much. Jalen Smith, talent wise, he's going to make plays. He's going to make tackles. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Bless you, brother.
Thank you.
Ooh,
Bless you.
bless you.
Van Der Esch's problem is they were thinking, and when you at linebacker, you have to be an instinct guy. You got to just look at your keys and read and react. And they got caught thinking they didn't. Unfortunately, they didn't have no tackle play really that was able to. And when you put a guard on a linebacker, ain't no linebacker beating no guard. But Jalen just bothered a lot of Cowboy fans, even though he was high in tackles. He bothered a lot of Cowboy fans this year because what Jalen did was a lot of talking. Even Tank Lawrence bothered a lot of Cowboy fans, but Tank didn't do too much talking. He knew they sucked. He didn't say nothing.
But
Jalen kind of spoke up and said, "Oh, we're gonna play multiple defense." Okay, and then when you was asked by the reporters about your play, you said go look at the tape. The tape had you playing
hey,
peekaboo, man.
hey. I mean, my thing is, if you can't keep them clean, they can't do their job.
That's
So
true.
it's
Yeah,
two.
I
It's
feel
two
you, man.
things. It's two things. They're thinking too much, and like you said, you got offensive linemen on your linebackers as soon as they
What
hike the ball.
One of the things that the Cowboys did with signing Dak Prescott to this deal that a lot of people that's outside of Dallas or that don't like the Cowboys don't want to admit is that really it was a win-win for both. It was a win for Dak and it was a win for the team because we know in 2 years the salary cap is probably gonna go up like $40 million, and they got money to spend. So with
But
that, you guys, the Cowboys have options.
right,
What do you guys? I know Dwayne, you talked about the 2-2. Me and you talked about that a lot, getting two corners and two safeties, and I agree with that. Either whether you sign two
Yeah.
or whether you sign two or you draft two. How do you guys feel? How do you OG? Because I know Dwayne, how Dwayne feels about Patrick Surtain. How do you feel about Horn, Patrick Surtain, and Farley? Those three.
from what I seen from Sertan, I hate to say it, the boy is like toast out there half the time. I don't know if he gets lost or he's playing. I can see in the backfield and catch up, but it's been some games where Santan has been burnt quite a bit. Even though it was at Alabama, and I know I just at this point, just give me whatever corner Dan Quinn needs, size, height, whatever he says he wants. If he wants a 6'2" corner, go find him a 6'2" corner because it is proven. You give him the players, he can get them a defense.
Dwayne, do you think that Dan Quinn should have carte blanche with this draft, far as drafting or any defensive player that he wants?
Um, I think no. I think that has gotten the Cowboys in trouble in the past. You let Rob Marinelli get you Tristan Hill. You let Rob Marinelli get you Taco Charlton. Will McClay got to run this draft room. He got to run this board. You get the input. But Tristan Hill was purely a Rod Marinelli pick. He went down there, he worked him out, and he forced his hand. Now, that draft day when they took Taco Charlton, the whole world knew we should have took TJ Watt over Taco Charlton. But Marinelli said, I can do it. I can get him. I can do it. So I'm not on this coaches coming in and getting what they want. Will McClay got to make this call, not Dan Quinn.
Let me ask you guys a question, and I know it's just Saturday, and me and Dwayne talked about it last week, and literally in the NFL, and in the best way that I could say what I'm about to say is by Wednesday, all hell is about to break loose
Oh,
in
it's
the
gonna be
NFL.
yeah.
Uh, with
Wednesday,
Listen,
it's starting now. It's trickling
listen.
now.
To OG's point, with the amount of people that's going to be in that free agency, you could get some real good players. I know Jerry said when you get a bargain, sometimes you get a bargain. Like he said, you get bargain price, you get
right,
bargain players, right?
right,
But realistically, look at all the DBs that have been let go. Malcolm Butler,
right.
Patrick Peterson.
I
Um,
don't know about that one.
they saying Hayden going to be let go. You got
Mm.
Vicario being let go. at Neil from the Falcons, safety being let go. It's gonna be
Right.
a lot of stuff out there.
Coach Nagy. I think the Cowboy fans realize they're not getting the Legion of Boom. But one thing we got to realize about the Legion of Boom is that they were not high draft picks.
No,
Earl
Right.
Thomas was the only one that was a high draft pick. KJ Wright was fifth round. Uh, the man, Richard Sherman was sixth round pick. So I
I
think
think he
this,
was fourth. I think he was a fourth
yeah,
round
I
pick.
think this goes back to your scouting department. I think Dallas, I think the Cowboy fans really love Will McClay. I've never met a Cowboy fan that does not like Will McClay and what he does for the franchise. He's actually the GM without the title, and
Yeah.
he's turned down GM jobs to stay in Dallas. So I think that Will McClay and his scouting department is not the problem that Cowboy fans would have. Dwayne always says every year, and McClay I trust when we talk
I
about the
trust him.
draft.
I do.
Um, and with that, you guys, I saw that Casey Hayward got cut today, and I just shook my head. Let me ask you, OG, if you could have two,
Mm.
any two free agents right now added to the Cowboys, who would they be?
Mm. Whew. Honest God truth, give me any top D tackle. And at corner, mm, I hate to say it. Give me the old man, Richard Sherman. He knows the defense. He can teach it. We need that bridge. Give me the old man. Put him in the slot. Put him at safety, wherever you want to put him. But give me the old man so he can teach.
Dwayne, same question.
You know my number one choice, Dalvin Tomlinson. I want him. I want him bad. And I want Patrick Peterson, man. I love that guy. And I think he's the guy that in 2 years you can move to a safety. You know?
Moving to a
Um,
safety now, then I can see that.
yeah, I'm a big Pat Peterson guy. But if you give me Tomlinson, you're doing two things with that. You're
Yeah,
getting a defensive tackle that will be very good for you, and you're taking them away from a division rival. So that's two for the price of one, baby. But I
there you
want
go.
Tomlinson.
Matt Nagy, the Cowboys would never get Shaq Barrett.
No, too much money.
Too much.
Shaq Barrett is about to break the bank, y'all. He's gonna get he
That's
might
too much money.
he might get just below Donald and Khalil Mack money. Hey,
That's
and Justin Simmons,
Got
unfortunately,
tagged.
yeah, he got tagged, and Todd France is a very good agent, but Justin Simonson pays the position that you don't pay. I hate to say it. I don't know why the NFL continues not to prioritize safety, but the worst thing for a young player to be now is a great safety and then come up and try to get paid. Like you'll see what happens when Darwin James is about to get paid. He's going to have problems because he got injury history and he's a great player and he's going to expect great money and ain't no team going to give it to him. I just hate to
that's all
say
right.
it.
That's all right.
Listen,
We will.
Yeah.
trade out
let
of
me
10, man. Trade
let me
out of
let me
10.
ask
Give
you
me more
guys
picks. Trade out of 10.
um the cornerback situation because I think that and the reason why I want to keep talking about it is because it's a tricky situation. OG, I know how Dwayne feels about the guys that are free agents in Dallas. Would you re-sign any of them?
No,
You
no,
And it,
wouldn't re-sign Cheeto. You wouldn't
no,
JD. You wouldn't re-sign
no,
none of them.
no,
and it pains me to say it because I love
no,
JD. But he got to
no,
go. Let him go to the Lions. Let him go back to where he from.
no. I
I
think we
don't even.
messed up when we didn't sign Earl Thomas when we had the chance. That's where we
Yeah.
messed up at our safety position.
Well, you know,
How do you guys feel about?
I
How do
don't
you
want
guys and
Woods back.
Dwayne?
I don't want Xavier Woods back. Let him go be somebody else's problem. I don't want him.
Yeah,
It's funny because they said Woods is the $6 million player, a year player, and they said open market that Cheeto is $8 million. Even though I would never give Cheeto $8 million a year, even though I like Cheeto, that's too much money. Let me ask you a question, you guys, and I told Dwayne OG I didn't get a chance to tell you this.
what's that?
Even though I like Donovan Wilson, I can't trust him going into next year like that. I think that as safety, we've been messing around so much and playing games and dragging our feet the last 6 years with safety
More than that.
that I yeah I
Yeah.
think we need to come away with two safeties, two at least somebody that's going to push Donovan Wilson or be better than him and he can learn from. We got to come away with two starters.
I want Vicario.
What's your thoughts on that?
I want
I,
Vicario. I've been saying
I
it for
agree.
3 years. He's a Texas boy. Bring him back home. He
And then you
doesn't
can,
hurt you. He's solid.
yeah. And so just say you want your 2 for 2, and I get that. All right, you pick up a safety in free agency, you draft one.
Mm-hmm.
You pick up a corner in free agency, and you draft
Drop.
one.
Yeah.
But you still have flexibility to go get you a couple of linemen, some D tackles, another linebacker. Without breaking the draft on these two positions when you can split it up. Come on now. So
Dwayne,
by the
I'm
time
gonna
the
mess with
veterans are ready
y'all.
to leave,
I'm gonna
the
mess with
rookies
y'all
are ready to
now.
go.
I
I'm gonna
feel you.
mess. I'm gonna mess with you, OG. I'm gonna
Uh oh.
mess. I'm gonna mess with your emotions.
What you talking?
You wake up. You wake up. You wake up Monday morning and Monday morning after the draft,
Uh-huh.
under your pillow, you have Richard Sherman, you have Tomlinson, you have Marvin Wilson, you have Trevor Mooring, you have Ashanti Samuels, and they all on the Dallas Cowboys.
I'm booking hotel and flights right then and there. But let me just say this. If we have a preseason, I am booking my flights. No questions asked.
Stephen A. better get his voice
Do,
ready. You
well,
know
well,
what he
well,
said.
OG,
You
Oh,
know what he
o,
said on First
oh.
Take. He said if
OG,
they
And
win
I
the
we'll,
would
Super
I
Bowl,
just want to be there so I can hear
yeah.
it in person. I want to hear him
OG,
apologize.
we're
Yeah.
He
we're
said if
we're
they win
already
the Super
planned.
Bowl, he said if they win the Super Bowl anytime during Dak's contract, he will be the MC for the victory parade.
Oh my goodness, they're gonna do it. So Rich
And
Dowsley will
watch.
probably have them do it. OG,
Yeah.
Dwayne already volunteered us to drive down to Dallas when they
I'm
win the
driving.
Super Bowl.
They win the
Dwayne,
Super Bowl, I'm driving. I'm getting in my
Dwayne,
car right after the Super Bowl,
okay,
and I'm
Dwayne,
driving to Dallas. And
Dwayne,
He
I'm
said right
playing
after the Super Bowl, I'm
right
getting in
after
my
the Super
car.
Bowl. I'm getting in my
under your
car and I'm
pillow,
driving.
that Monday, Dwayne, you got Downland Tomlinson, Peterson, Patrick Sertan, Mooring, and you got Akeem Neal.
Listen, man, I'm gonna say this to people. You know, the last year Dak was healthy. We had the number one offense in the league. Even last year, with all the problems we had at quarterback,
The
um,
Cowboys would never mess with Jalen Mills, Matt Nagy. You
yeah,
don't have to tell us that. We
yeah,
know.
and even with the quarterback situations that we had last year, we still finished 15th in offense. So offense is not the problem, man. Even with that terrible offensive line we had last year.
Yeah,
All right, we
yeah.
can't bank on Tyron Smith. He's never going to play a full 16 games a year. He's never going to do that. We can all say that. He's going to miss 2 to 3 games a year the rest of the way. So what OG is saying, back yourself up with a nice tackle in this draft, I can rock with that. We got to fix the defense. We're not going anywhere
Oh
until
yeah.
that defense is fixed, man.
When I said Ashanti Samuel ghetto intellect, I'm always talking. Whenever I say him on here, I'm not talking about the father. I just ain't want to say Junior. I'm just so used to saying the kid now.
Yeah, just
Ashanti Samuel Jr. that
yeah.
played for Florida State.
Right.
Hey, let me ask you guys something. Do you know how the Cowboys always pick that player? Like Vander Esch was a surprise. Like
Wasn't
we
though. He wasn't really for the
well,
Cowboys. He
well, you know
wasn't a
what that was, Dwayne. That was that Boise connection
no.
that we
The
love to
problem
have.
here's the problem I have with the Cowboys, right? And we're all Cowboy fans. Every year they find this pet project or pet name.
Hurt
It was
guy.
Xavier Woods. It was Xavier Woods. You knew as a Cowboy fan they was drafting Xavier Woods because they talked about him, Kavanaugh, all those talking heads. right now, they're gonna go crazy, and they probably gonna do it too soon for Richie Grant from Central Florida, because that's all we've been hearing as Cowboy fan. Richie Grant, Richie Grant, Richie Grant, Richie Grant. No other team is putting him up on that level. It's just us, and they
I'm gonna
do
ask
that
you.
every year.
I'm gonna ask you guys a question. Is Richie Grant a first rounder?
He's probably like a third rounder, but the Cowboys will take him in the second round because that's all you keep hearing.
For the draft. For the draft,
And
one
they
of the
may
things.
take a Darius. They may take a Darius Washington too soon because
One of the.
they start listening to the Kavanaughs and the Dane Buglers, and they just listen to Brian Brodus, and they just listen to these guys, listen to these
Lisa
guys,
asked,
listen.
"What about Richie Grant, Dwayne?"
What about him? I'm tired of hearing about him. And the only team you hear talking about him is the Cowboy insiders, man.
See, one of
And
the
he's
things that
not
I
bad.
noticed,
He was a Thorpe finalist. You know
I noticed,
him,
and me
Morrig,
and Dwayne
and
always talk about this when we talk about the Cowboys, and I'm quite sure OG sees the same thing. And like Dwayne said, is that when you listen to the Cowboy insiders, the Dalton Millers, the John Mosheers, the Kavanaugh, the Buglers,
Louis Scruggs.
and we all know the guys because we follow the Cowboys and we
Right.
follow the team. It's like they all zero in on the same players,
One
and it's like,
guy.
dude, do y'all scout anybody else? And it's like, whatever player plays in that belt down there in Texas, they always seem like we got to draft them and put them on that team. Like, yo, dude, it's more football players. There's football players out west. Like, why y'all keep focusing on those guys? Like for years, Dwayne and the OG and the Cowboy fans that's in the chat and anybody else in the chat, me and OG was talking before Dwayne joined, and we started the show. For 2 years, every Cowboy insider told us Dalton Schultz is not a passing tight end. He's not a receiving tight end. He's not a receiving tight end. The man had over 50 catches this year
Yeah.
because they told us, oh, all he is a blocking tight end. So because these guys get so caught up with their same scouts and they don't understand that these players are a lot better than you think they are,
The
or maybe, or just you
part of the
don't know they don't
problem
develop
is
the players right.
part of the problem is, and we gotta be realistic as Cowboy fans. You got guys that are doing their shows out of the star. Where do you think they're getting all these opinions from? They're
Right.
right in the facility.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And
So
they
that's
could,
why
but
I don't listen to those guys.
also, I just think they probably feed them bad information. Hopefully, another team bites on it.
The,
But at this point, I think the scouting department is going to earn their money this year because it's a different season. So if they pull off anything at this point, from my mouth to Jerry's ears, I'm gonna say this real slow. Jerry, give Steven the team. Just promote the team. Stay
mhm.
out of news conferences. Let people that know football run football operations. Please. We cannot be the Raiders of the NFC. Please.
Give
Let
Will
me.
McClay,
I,
give
I
Will
got.
McClay his title,
I
man.
got a player
Right.
for
Give
you,
him the JM
OJ.
position.
Give him his
Yes, sir.
title, man.
Give it to him.
It was talk this week that Jalen might be going to middle linebacker. Now we don't agree with that. I'm quite sure we don't think that's a good move. They were talking about him going to middle linebacker, and the Cowboys zero in on a weak side linebacker by the name of KJ Wright, former player of the Seattle Seahawks, knows the defense. What do you
Mm,
think about that?
Jalen Smith's a
that's
weak side linebacker, man. He's not a middle linebacker. And I hate
is
to
not.
say this. I hate to say this. The man struggles calling defenses. He can't do it. So you're putting him in a position that he can't succeed in. When was Jalen Smith at his best? When he was a weak side linebacker that you could blitz every so often and he could freelance. The minute you give him some big responsibilities in that defense, he can't handle it. And I don't want Dan Quinn to start getting all these retreads from Seattle and Atlanta either. Trust Will McClay to do his job and build the defense.
I get you, but it's It's
She
one.
said that about what you said about Jerry.
Oh,
Nope.
I mean, it's a hard thing because it seems like as Cowboy fans, we all every draft there's a reason why we get upset. We drafted Ezekiel Elliott. I was pissed. I was like, we need defensive help. You get a running back, no problem. Last year, we need corner help. You get a receiver.
Oh, I
Okay,
wanted
no
CD
problem.
Lamb.
I
We
wanted
did it.
to.
We
I
did
mean,
it.
he fell in our lap, so we had to
Yeah,
take him. I
I
get
had to
that.
take him.
So, like we discussed earlier, if the tight end from Florida is sitting there and say one of the top two tackles are sitting there, I bet you $100 right now they're gonna go with the tight end instead of getting the tackle. I
I say
But
this.
guarantee you
listen,
that's what they're gonna do.
listen, listen.
Rashawn Slater
He
plays every position,
listen.
y'all.
He tipped it. He already tipped his hand during the Dak Prescott press conference. Stephen Jones said, "We know we got to get defense, but if a CD Lamb is sitting there, we're going
Right,
to take him." He already
right.
told you.
I'm gonna
So
ask you guys about a player.
If a Kyle Pitts is sitting there at 10,
Du-
bet your
Dwayne,
bottom
you
dollar the Dallas Cowboys is taking him.
Dwayne, you ran off the 20 free agents that the Cowboys have, and traditionally the Cowboys will re-sign a third of those guys.
Right.
Now, most of us feel like they could go not signing, re-signing any of their free agents, and it'll make us happy. Um, I'm gonna ask you guys about a player who he came in last year and started, and they put him back on the bench, and I think they kind of put him on the bench because the guy ahead of him was making more money, and that's Joe Thomas. What are you guys' opinion about him?
He's a decent player, but he ain't somebody that you got to go out of your way to re-sign. Because guess what? I would go and sign Damian Wilson back before I sign Joe Thomas back. And
Mm.
Damian Wilson is free. So
I
if
would
you
do
telling
everything I
me,
could to get McCoy back before I pick him up. So
yeah, Joe
I
Thomas is
mean,
just, he's okay, I got injuries. Let me put Joe Thomas out there for 2 games. That's it. He ain't nothing
now
more than that.
if it's the fact that we did go from a 4-3 to a 3-4, and we're going back to the 4-3. Now, if some of these players were better in the 4-3, then you would have to go, okay, let's take that in consideration. But at the same token, you've had a whole year. You've seen them in the building. You've seen how they prep, how they practice, how they got ready, everything. So at
Yeah.
this point, you have to be smart and just say, okay, this is just not the kind of person we need in this locker room. We need dogs. We need people that just don't give a damn. We need to get back to the '90 Cowboys. I know we was running Dallas, Michael Irvin snorting the lines everywhere. If
Bring the
that's what it
White
takes
House
for us to
back, man.
win,
Bring the
if
White
that's
House
what it
back.
takes to right, if
Listen,
that's what it
I
takes to
don't
win, you gotta let these boys. You gotta let them play. Let them
I'm
listen
play.
to me. Listen to
OG.
me
I got it.
closely. Listen to me closely. I will get close to the camera. I don't give a damn what they do Monday through Saturday. It's what they do on Sunday, baby. Do whatever the hell you want to do. You want to go out drinking and partying every night. Long as it ain't a Thursday night and we got a Thursday night game. Listen,
OG, I'm gonna ask you a question.
I don't give a damn.
I know you
Right,
said
sir.
that you don't want Jerry to get involved in nothing with football. From what I understand, Jerry uh he got in McCarthy and them butt about a player last year that he felt as though should have been playing more, and that was
It's
Randy
not.
Gregory.
It's not
Do
your
y'all
job
trust Do y'all trust Randy Gregory to be the
now,
start
since they.
to be the starter left end
Yeah,
right
they're
now?
not testing. They're not testing for weed no more. So yeah, he's fine.
Mhm. He'll be fine.
I mean, that's it. I mean, if you really look at his history, that was his only knock was the weed. Now that
Mhm.
that's not a problem, yo, young boy, run, do your job.
That's it.
This
I
is
know
what we
one thing.
pay you for.
One thing I always say about Randy Gregory is that Ben, um, that end has to have. That can't be taught, and that guy he can just wake up out the bed and be a natural NFL defensive end and get the quarterback. With a training camp, like OG said, if they have a decent training camp where Quinn can teach, it they got some players. So what do you think about McCoy? You think they're going to try to re-sign McCoy back, Dwayne?
Why not? I think he was a good signing last year. He just got hurt. I think you need a Gerald McCoy, not only
You
on the
got to.
field but in your locker room. You need a guy like that. You need those glue guys. He's a glue guy, man. He's the guy that leads the youngsters. He's the guy that makes Gallimore better. He's the guy that works with Tristan Hill. Yeah, you bring a McCoy back, of course, sure.
You bring McCoy back, that you can't double team your ends all night.
Yeah.
One of the things that I know is premature. We probably talking about it a year or two early. It seems like when people talk about the Cowboys and moving forward, and like Dwayne mentioned about Gallup eventually getting money, everybody always seems to say Amari has to be traded. What's your opinion about Amari, OJ?
Where do I start? Amari Cooper to me is a rich man's Randall Cobb.
Mm.
He does the same routes, and as soon as he catches the ball, he goes back to make a big U-turn. Everyone, if I can tell you that, every corner in the league knows that. So as soon as he catches the ball, you just let him. You just stop and wait for him to come right back at you. He does. I don't know if he's. I just don't think he's a number one. So when you put that pressure on him, he cracks. So if you put him at the two, Gallup at the one, CeeDee Lamb in the slot, and you get to do just get a tight end, I think Amari will flourish a whole lot better because now the attention is not just on him. But when you're forcing him to to really be that guy, I don't think he can do it. I just don't see it.
Hey, what's up, Dre? Hey,
What up, Dre?
Dwayne. What's I know, man. You always talk about Mari and his. We both love him as a route
I
runner.
love him. I love Amari.
One thing I noticed about Amari is that
Look at his
we all
numbers
know
last year. When you get a chance, look at his numbers last year. And he had
all he
Ben
want to do is
DiNucci.
play.
And he
All
had
he
Ben
want to do is play
DiNucci. He had
chess.
Garrett Gilbert. He had the red rifle thrown to him. And look at the numbers he put up last year. Quiet.
What do you, so
Yeah, it
Dwayne?
was
What do you?
quiet.
We know that his first 2 years, and this is the second year of it. The first 2 years of his deal was basically the balloon payment and the guaranteed money.
It was basically a 2-year, $40 million deal.
What do you think they're gonna do?
I don't know. It depends. If you're trading Gallup, then you got to keep him. If you keep
Now,
Gallup, you let him
do you
walk.
trade Gallup or do you trade Amari?
I think you'll have a bigger market. Believe it or not, I think you'll have a bigger market for Gallup because he's cheaper.
Huh?
I think the thing is, and I say it again, like I said in the beginning of the show, and I said it to OG and me and Dwayne talked about the other day, is that being able to have this conversation is for a long time we got options.
Yeah.
Going
Yeah,
forward,
but
we got options. We haven't had options. We've
listen,
been
man,
kind of tight
I'm
for a
just
long time.
I'm gonna be honest with you, and there ain't nothing we could do about it. It's not anything we could do about it. I'm tired of Jerry Jones, man. I'm tired of him talking to the media before
Hey,
the
that's
coaches
my owner
do.
now.
No, I'm serious, man. He is the
Nah,
problem.
bro.
Man. He's the
I
problem, bro.
I'm
Like think
telling
about
you.
think about it. I love the Dallas Cowboys. You too love the Dallas Cowboys, right? But I can understand why people hate this team. Look at that Dak Prescott press conference. NFL Network carried the whole thing live, took over their whole NFL Now show. They ain't doing that for any other team. They're just not doing it for any other team. It's the
No,
oversaturation.
but
You had all these people on ESPN, on Fox, all talking about, thank you, Cowboys. You gave us 3 years worth of content on if you was going to sign Dak Prescott or not. Because they all led with it every day for 3 years.
Yeah, but you also got to look at it like this. How are you? Let's just put it this way. Tell me the owner of the Jaguars.
Well, we
Who,
know because we
Mr.
football
Khan?
fans.
I know
But I'm
because
We
just
I'm in the
saying.
football
Raiders.
fans, yeah.
But I'm just saying. How many press conferences do he do?
Exactly. None of them.
The Roonies. How many press conferences have you seen the Roonies do?
None. You don't see damn Mara doing any press conferences in New York. Like
That's my whole.
it's
That's
ridiculous.
right.
Jerry
You
wants to
Why?
know,
be the show,
Why?
and then he
Why?
as
goes
Why are
with
you
that.
doing press conferences?
And then he
as
Why
the
are
goes
guy
with
you?
that. He was
You
like,
know why? Are you doing all of that? That
as the
makes
guy
no sense.
as the guy amongst us that loves Jerry Jones and loves and the reason why I don't think he's the problem is because it's like, to me, um it's fool's gold with him. He be having the media and some fans fooled. The man pays all the players that he want to pay, he pays them, and he pays them handsomely. So it's like a joke with him. Like, he wants people to think that he's this great negotiator when it comes to these players, and
And he's not.
in
Q,
all actuality, he
Q,
buckles to
Q,
every last one of them.
Q.
Right.
I'm tired of him being the face and the voice of the franchise, man. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of after every game the media is surrounding him before they go to coaches or players. We got to hear what Jerry's got to say.
For
And a
what?
lot of times he's saying a whole lot of fucking nothing. Excuse my language. But he's saying a whole lot of nothing a lot of times. He go in a press conference the other day. Well, anything I ever had worth having, I overpaid for it. So now you got the whole media. Oh, Jerry admits he overpaid for Dak Prescott. He needs to shut his damn mouth, man, and
He's
he
been
can't
he's
do it.
The last couple times he's been talking, he's been dissecting insects.
And
He talking about
okay,
circumcising a fly. What the hell is he talking about?
okay. Let's be real. You a billionaire, but you're at 7-Eleven buying wine.
Exactly.
Come on now. Come. I mean, hey, that's your boy, but come on, man.
I'm
Seven
tired of it.
Eleven,
I'm tired of it.
7-Eleven.
I want him to just
So
be in the damn box and
let me
say
ask you,
nothing.
OG, um, are you really ready for Steven to take over this franchise?
You want to know why I say yes? Because he will let people that know what they're doing do their job.
Yes, he will.
Steven is not going to be in the press conferences.
I think Steven got a little Jerry in him that we don't know about, y'all.
Steven is
No,
not
but
going to be like his father.
right.
He,
But
no
see,
way.
re- remember what I said. We're the Raiders at NFC. What happened to the Raiders? And don't take it no disrespectful way. Once Al Davis passed and his son took over, they start winning football games.
Yep.
And they brought
Now,
McKenzie in there to run the football. You're right.
right, but that's all I'm saying. You brought people in to do their job, and if they wanted to talk to the owner, that's when you got on the mic. But not you going to say I'm holding a press conference at training camp. For what?
Well, I do.
He
That's
runs.
one of the
He
things that I
runs
do
his
got.
mouth. He runs his mouth too much. We're gonna be 100% at AT&T this year. We're going to Oxnard for training camp. Shut up. This is about Dak Prescott, man. You running your mouth too much, and that's part of the problem with him. He always running his damn
That's one of the
mouth.
things that I do got. The one problem that I do got with Jerry, and I will tell everybody, I'm a big Jerry Jones fan when it comes to business. But the one problem I do have with Jerry is the back door with the players. How with that relationship he takes away from the coaches,
Right.
because a lot of these players, OG, you never heard me say it. They're a bunch of dogs, and I don't mean in a good way. Sometimes they be dogging it out, and every year for the last 3 years, they be dogging out the coaches. Okay, last year we had the worst defense we ever had, and it was so easy to blame it on Mike Nolan. Okay, but y'all was the same ones just crying about the same scheme that Chris Richard was having too, two
Right.
years ago. So now we're going back to a base cover three with Dan Quinn. I don't want to hear it from these players no more. I don't want to hear it because these players, what they'll do is they throw coaches under the bus, and there's no accountability because they know they can go run upstairs and pull that the back door buzzer, and get to the owner.
But let me ask you this one question, and just bear with me for 1 second. The last time we won a Super Bowl, who put the team together?
Jimmy,
Okay, if that's the case, your track record for the past 25 years, Jerry Jones, you are offers. Jimmy Johnson should have 4 championship rings if you would have never said nothing and just let him do what he was doing.
four. Might would have 7.
I mean, but I'm just saying we should have had
Yes,
4 in a row.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
if you'd have just shut your
Who
mouth, Jimmy Johnson.
uh,
If
who
Jerry
create
Jones, huh?
who created the damn trade chart? Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy
But
Johnson
Thank you.
Jerry Jones always tried to take credit for that. And it was created by Jimmy Johnson.
Right. How
let
do
me
you get 7 picks for one player from one team?
let me ask you guys about that because I always compare when I think about Jimmy Johnson and what he brought to the NFL, and how because he recruited most of these players even going into college, and then Pete Carroll and them did the same exact thing, and it's always amazing how these guys that come from back college back to the pros, why they, to me, I believe they have a lot of success because they kind of know him. Dwayne's guy Matt Rule, he knows a lot of these players, and that's why Carolina will probably be good next year.
Let me ask you a
What?
question. Let me ask you
Go
some
ahead.
questions. When Jerry had good seasons, not even seasons that he went to the Super Bowl or whatever after Jimmy left, when did he have good seasons? When he had those good little runs that he had when Romo first got there, was those his players or Bill Parcells' players?
Bill Parcells.
Thank you. So when he allows football men to do what they got to do, the Cowboys have success.
Right.
Bill Parcells set them up with Witten, with Romo, with just his
I'll
coaching.
just say this: in 2004 draft, Bill Parcells drafted all defense, and every last player eventually was a Pro Bowler that he drafted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hatcher, Hatcher, Ratliff, Ware, except what you call Spears. Spears was a solid player for 8 years.
Yeah.
nah,
Yeah,
But once again, Jerry had nothing to do with that.
right.
And it eats him up because yes, I own the team, but you also want credit of putting it together. You can't have it both ways.
Yeah.
so
It
so
doesn't
who
it doesn't work.
so who's drafting these guys? I mean, Will got a lot to do with these guys.
Listen,
But
I mean, here
but
racing.
Jerry will tell you in a heartbeat. If I want that player, then that's who you're going to pick, regardless
There
of
was
what the
only
chart
there
says.
was only one time recently where Jerry lost a battle. And the only reason Jerry lost that battle is Steven stepped in and was like, nah, Dad, we're not drafting no damn Johnny Manziel. We're not doing it. And that's the
Or
only reason.
and Baker Mayfield. Don't forget, he was in love with Baker
Yeah,
Mayfield too.
yeah.
So I mean, I understand that you own the squad, but I I like owners that just sit in the background and speak
Now
at the podium.
imagine if we'd have drafted damn Johnny Manziel instead of Zach Martin, who all he do is he wake up and he a pro bowler and all pro guard.
Let me ask you, OG, about somebody on the roster.
Yes, sir.
Ezekiel Elliott.
I think Zeke is a good back, but we have to figure out what our balance is going to be. Are we going to be a running team? Then you got to get your offensive line straight. If we're going to be a passing team, then Zeke can only get like 20, 22 carries a game, and that's how we got to leave it. But the passing game does not work for us unless Zeke is running the ball. So that's that catch 22, because that's when the play action works. Because once you suck everybody in, you want to one on the outside, and there's no one on our receiving core that you gonna cover one on one. I'll put money on that.
I'm gonna ask you Me and Dwayne shared this a lot, and I don't think a lot of people that's Cowboy fans understand. How do you feel about Mike McCarthy?
I think if Mike McCarthy would have came in and said, you know what, Kellen Moore, I love what you're doing. This is my scheme. You fit your play calling inside my scheme. I think it would have worked. But if you've given him carte blanche to call these plays, and I hope it was not Mike McCarthy calling them fourth down fake punts, going for it on fourth down, because none of those work. But if it's Kelvin Moore, McCarthy either has to say, hey, this is my system. I like what you do with this, this, and this. Let's sit around with Dak and build an offense together. If not,
Well,
you got to go.
one of the problems I had with Mike, and it really wasn't him per se, is the Cowboys. Mike McCarthy was known as a great play caller, but he doesn't do anything. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't need Mike McCarthy to be a walk around coach. That's not what he is known for. That
Yeah,
wasn't how
but
he made his bones.
I think we got to be a little bit
No, but
careful.
Dwayne, what me and you talked about, Dwayne, before is OG. This is the trick side to it. Kellen Moore's offense, the last two
Yeah,
years is rated high.
yeah. But first, before I even get there, let me just do my Zeke again. This is
Oh
Zeke.
yeah, oh yeah,
This Zeke,
Mr. Tap Out.
Mr. Tap Out. I just ran three times in a row. Let me get out the game. Listen, I don't want to make excuses for anybody, right? I don't. But it's hard to come in your first year as a head coach and have no OTAs and no training camp. I
Right?
think I think we can judge Mike McCarthy a little bit more on this season when he's going to have a true off season because he never really even got to tell his team who he is. You don't get that from Zoom meetings, man. You need to be in a room with a guy. You need to go through the dog days of training camp with a guy. So I think this is the year we're gonna find out who he is. We're gonna find out if he takes control of his team because I think he deferred a little bit too much last year. To OG's point, he let Bones Fossil talk him into some dumb decisions on special teams. Dumb.
Dumb.
So
Stupid.
I want to see what he does. Now I do give him a knock, and it was in hindsight. I said it when he signed him. Why are you making Mike Nolan your defensive coordinator? He's never been a good defense coordinator. So I give him now that I have to knock him on. Everything else, man, how many of those rookie coaches really did good? I mean, Joe Judge did all right. I think people are overblowing what he did. But we're gonna see who these guys are now that they're gonna have a full training camp. I don't
Right.
think you could judge Mike McCarthy solely on his first year in Dallas.
Dwayne, I'm gonna ask you about a player, Tank Lawrence.
I hate him. I
Mm.
hate him. I hate him, and I love him at the same time because I think the potential is there for him. What I want Tank Lawrence to do is, I'm not talking about. I want people to hear me well when I say this. When I say shut up and play, I mean just play football. If you want to talk about social injustice, all that, I'm all for it. What I can't understand is when he sits up there in press conferences and be like, he says stuff matter of fact, then he gets there on Sunday and don't do it. And then he always has an excuse. Oh, I'm not good standing up. I need to have my hand in the dirt. And you got your hand in the dirt. You still ain't doing nothing. It's almost like he got that big paycheck and he told the Cowboys and stuff, the salary cap is your issue, not my issue. I want my money. He got his money. All right, he was injured that first year. I'll give him that. But we need more out of Tank Lawrence, man, especially for what we're paying him.
And D, I get your point, but if he has no other threats on that defense, where's the offense gonna focus at?
I
The
mean,
highest paid man,
I hear you.
you know?
That's why Quinn got 11 and a half that year. You know, that's why
Right.
Alden Smith was able to do what he did this past year off 5 years of
Off,
not playing football. I just want
right.
I just want D-Law to just play football, man.
Would you guys
No,
bring
and
Alden? Would you guys bring Alden Smith back?
in a heartbeat.
I don't have a
And a
problem
heartbeat.
bringing back Alden Smith. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? He proved himself.
Right. You owe him that. You
Uh,
owe him that.
Dwayne, no, Dwayne. I'm gonna ask you one another player, and OG another player. OG Connor Williams.
Bust. Sorriest guard we could have ever drafted. Bust.
He actually
I
was the
could
best
probably
offensive lineman last year,
I
probably.
could I could beat him right now with a shot of tequila in my glass. I could beat him 1-on-1.
Dwayne, what does Craig call steal?
Uh, what
Terrence
he
open
call?
door steal.
Yeah, Terrence open door.
Oh no, Terrence Hold'em still?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let me ask you, Dwayne, and I know me and you talked about Connor a lot. OG, one thing that Connor Williams that we tried to talk about with him, we're giving him credit is that he's gotten a lot stronger and he's holding up a little bit better with the bull rush because some of the tape, this guy used to just get destroyed.
yeah, he
Last
did.
year he was okay, he was average. Dwayne, how do you feel about Tyler Badish going forward?
I think Tyler Batters is your center of the future, man. I mean, let's stop playing around. And you can have a good interior offensive line when you look at the fact that Connor McGovern finally got on the field and he played well. Okay, Joe Looney, spiritual guy. He seems to be like the spiritual leader of this team, and he's always out front. Joe Looney did a good job for us. Don't resign him. Thank you, Joe. Go be the spiritual leader for another team. It's time to put Biotic in there, man. And you got some flexibility in the middle of your offensive line when you got McGovern that could come in and replace Williams or replace Zach Martin, and he can also um he can also back up at the center position. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you guys about what you call. Do you think that Blake Jarwin coming back is going to affect Schultz?
No.
No, look at the teams that have two tight ends and two tight ends are successful.
Right.
One has nothing to do with the other, man. I think Dalton Schultz is more complete. I think Jarwin is the pass catcher. Schultz can block and catch. You need a Dalton Schultz.
Yeah, I know
And
one
I,
thing.
and I like the sets when the Cowboys have the double tight ends. They
OG,
run the
me and
ball more
me and
Yes.
effectively.
me and Dwayne, unfortunately got hurt the first game. But me and Dwayne always said about Blake Jarwin. Every time he catches a pass, he always wide open.
Always wide.
Like he always got open.
But
Like yo,
but you know what that is? That's that Jason Witten syndrome. Jason Witten is the slowest guy on the field, but every time you turn around, he's wide open, and you
Open.
go, "How is this slow guy open?" And then you see the replay, you're like, "Oh, dude, he just shook you out your shorts." What's going? Okay, I digress a little bit. We was talking about the offensive line, right?
Right.
What do you guys think about uniting the Martin brothers, signing Zach Martin's brother as the center?
I'm such a Biotish fan, man. I don't even know if I need Nick Martin.
But
I
you
don't.
move Biotis to guard and kick Connor Williams out.
Could do that. And it's
The
and it's true because Nick Martin can play guard. You got both Martin brothers at
Right,
guard.
right.
That
the only
flexibility.
I believe that can work. I believe that it will be very interesting if they did that. I don't have any problem with it. But the only thing that like OG we talked about and Dwayne, we always say it. One scary thing that I just don't has not, and it happened with McGovern. Cowboys draft these guys and they never play them, and then like Conor McGovern got in last year, and I'm like, yo, they never call his name. He didn't get a false start. He didn't get a
That kid
holding,
played well,
and I'm
man.
like, yo, we know they picked him up in the third round out of Penn State, blocked for Saquon. So we looking like fans is like, yo, why they never played this kid? They could have put him at the left guard.
You
because
know
Connor
why?
Williams was a synth over there to
Yeah,
left
yeah,
guard.
but who loves Connor Williams, man?
It was Colombo.
No,
Oh no, it was
Jerry
Jerry.
Jones. He loves Connor. He's a kid from Texas. He's been a Texas boy his whole life. He went to UT. We think he could play guard. And what they don't understand about Connor Williams is he played tackle his whole life, and he was hurt his senior year at Texas playing tackle. And then you tried to get this man to move inside in the NFL. He's never done
against
it before.
against horses.
Man, he's still having nightmares of that playoff game when he had to attempt to block that damn man, you know, that number 99 in that Rams uniform. Still having nightmares about that. He's
But
still having nightmares about that.
I wouldn't mind this though. I wouldn't mind them to really get freaky with that line, OG, and just I know we seen it, a glimpse of it, and I know he's turned out to be a decent right tackle. I would not mind Lyle Collins going to play left guard. I I just
I don't.
Yeah, but
I,
then who you put in that tackle, bro?
right. Who you gonna put it? Yeah. See, that's the
Can't
problem.
put Brandon
the
And
Knight
he
there.
the
Please don't
and he
president
put
doesn't want to
Brandon
be a
Knight.
guard. That's the problem.
the
He doesn't want to
president
be a guard.
No.
the president don't want to play tackle. If the president wanted to play tackle, he could go over there. But we can't move Zach Martin. I
No,
know.
Zach Martin's
I'm just
a
wishful thinking, fellas.
he's an all-pro guard every year. He's healthy. He's an
Just
all-pro
just
guard.
just wishful thinking. I just
Leal
wish he
is
would.
fine at right tackle, man. He's
No,
fine.
he's fine.
He's
He's fine.
fine.
Is we just got to keep him out of car accidents before the season starts.
Yeah, he's fine at right tackle. Like, you don't have to overthink. Again, I think the Cowboys overthink. Your offense is not the problem. It's your defense. It's been your defense for a long time. You get in the
Right.
third quarter and the Jokers start rolling around on the ground. They can't get their asses back up. And we see it year after year after year. You got that damn Anthony Brown. His ass
OG,
is
this
always
OG, this what I
indefensible.
deal with. OG,
He's
this what I
always
deal with on the
indefensible.
phone every Cowboy
Wait,
game.
wait a minute, Dwayne. Back up. You said the third quarter they do what?
They just start rolling their asses on the ground. They just rolling on the ground. I'm like, damn, get up, man. Like, what the hell? And it's year after year after
Hey yo,
year. And I love
hey yo,
this squad.
OG.
Oh,
By the third quarter, yo, when we be on the phone and they, you know how NBC good for it. NBC do it more than Fox. NBC do that shot of the Cowboys defense, and you see, not trying to be funny, the second series of the third quarter, you see guys like Darius Armstrong and them on the field, and you see Tank Lawrence holding his helmet. Like, what the hell? What's up with your endurance, man? Like, and then Zeke gets 6 yards on the first 3 carries, and next thing you know, he's doing.
and then
And guess what? And you know what happens? You know what happens? Pollard comes in the game, and
and
Kellen
Gives us
Moore
some
already
juice.
called the play, and he calls the play that's a run in between the tackles for Pollard.
Listen, Pollard
That is
got that
sweet.
juice though. But he
That
proved
is
last
sweet.
year he proved
That is
last
sweet.
year he could run between those tackles, man.
So
right.
Like, I
OG,
want Pollard getting the ball more,
were
man.
you
I
tired of
think they should
Pollard?
Yeah.
be. Y'all think
Were
I'm
you tired of
crazy?
Pollard running the ball out the end zone on kickoffs?
Yeah, listen. Y'all may think I'm crazy, but I'm ready for Zeke and Pollard to have a 50-50 split, man.
No, I agree with
It's
you.
coming.
I think Zeke should be first and second. Pollard is their third down back.
Yeah.
Unless it's 2 yards and less, then
I mean,
what?
I hope Zeke's mother ain't watching, because you know she get all mad
She's
at people.
she's in Cabo, sir. She's in
Yeah,
Cabo.
she in Cabo.
She's in Cabo right now.
Yeah, she be on that Twitter heavy, don't she?
Yeah,
Hey,
you know it's bad when I know she's in Cabo, y'all.
boy, that's a shame. You know where everybody is, boy.
Listen, we got comp picks, so got a lot of comp picks, and this is truly my favorite time of the year. I love the draft. I love, thinking
Yeah, I'm
about,
back. We
my,
all jacked up. That's my side there.
yeah, my dream is, as I told Quentin, my dream Cowboy in this offseason is Xavier Collins from Tulsa, man. I love this kid. So if you want to blame me to be like that person that the Cowboys insiders always throwing the name out there, I want to trade out of that 10 spot Only way I don't trade out of that 10 spot is if Panay Sewell is there and Kyle Pitts is there. You take them. Like I
Got
don't want to
to.
hear nobody kill the Cowboys if they take Pitts there. He's a difference maker, man. And
Yeah,
you
that's a that's a
can't have
yeah,
enough
that's the
difference
problem.
makers on your team.
So
If
who's who's
Pitts is
who's the
there
one
at 10,
OG?
take him.
Dwayne, yours is Nick Bolton
What?
or
No.
Xavier Collins.
I'm a
Bolton.
Z-
I get them mixed up because I like both of them as
yeah, I'm
linebackers.
a Zayvon Collins.
Uh,
I'm a
it's
Zayvon
it's
Collins fan.
OG is funny because me and Dwayne, we started before we started doing our draft, it was all Micah Parsons, and it's like, yo, what happened with him? They're not even to talk. OG, who's the one player that you want out of all this the Cowboys to get in the draft?
Slater, Northwestern.
He's a big kid, man. You see him
I
throwing
mean,
that up?
it's either Slater, Sewell, or my boy out of Florida. It's one of those three. And I know that's offense, but even if you get a tackle and go straight defense, even if you do defense and free agency, let's just start getting prepared on the tackle side. Because like Dwayne said earlier, we already know Smith is gonna miss 2 to 3 games. And those 2 to 3 games are always at crucial moments.
Yep.
They're always at crucial times. So let's just get a guard. Let's get another tackle ready.
My
That's
play,
all I say.
my player that is going to be Mooring. I want them to get Mooring that no matter what. With them third round picks, and I know he may not make it to the third round. The Cowboys got 3 third round picks.
Yeah, he ain't gonna be a he's late first, early second, bro. He
Yeah,
ain't gonna
I,
be all
I, I need, I need. I would really be happy with any safety before the fourth round, because they just don't value the position, and it'll show me that they finally realize, yo, we got to draft a high safety here. We got to stop playing.
yeah,
But
but you're gonna have either Canoe Nil or Vicario. So it
Yeah,
may not be of that of a pressing need in the draft.
right. So and that's why I say everybody's saying defense, but they're saying the corners, offensive line, and tight ends is a deep field. Okay, I
Deep.
get that. Deep. So like I said, if you and I know you guys want your 2 for 2, but if we can do the 1 and 1 and then give me my offensive tackle with the first pick, no matter if we stay at 10 or even if we drop, y'all can have it.
yo, it is kind of crazy, OG, that you said that, because it seemed like it's more defensive players getting cut than offensive players. So like defensive players getting cut left and right,
Mhm.
which is interesting.
Overpaid. They overpaid these cats.
Yeah, yeah. But with that, we're gonna wrap the show up, man. Any of you guys got any final thoughts?
No, man, it's good to be on with OG. It's good to meet you, brother, and
Yes,
look
sir.
forward to having an opportunity to talk to you again. And we thank everybody that was in the chat. And hey, Hoya Paranoia is back. I know it's a Dallas Cowboys show, but my Hoyas is going to the NCAA tournament. Shout out to Big Pat Ewing. They did it in his house. And
Oh,
rest in
one thing,
peace to Marvin Hagler again,
one
man.
one
Yes,
Great.
thing,
sir.
one thing I want to say before we close is great show. Like Dwayne said, congrats to Georgetown. Even though I'm a Syracuse fan, congrats to Georgetown. Rest in peace to Marvin Hagler. And I want to dedicate this show to Breonna Taylor, whose birthday would have been
Yes.
today.
Yes.
Oh,
I
yes.
just wanted to
Yes.
think. I was thinking about it, and I just wanted to dedicate this show to her,
Yes, sir.
and hopefully she and her family will one day get justice. We had a good show, and it's like I tell everybody, when Cowboy fans get together, know that we don't agree on everything, and
No.
it's
And it's not,
and
and you're not supposed to. It's what being
No.
a fan is. You're not supposed to agree. We all got different opinions, man. And as long as we're respectful in our disagreement, and that makes it even that much better, man.
and
There you go.
y'all lucky we didn't get to all three of us like Gallup, but y'all lucky we didn't get to how Gallup be having the dropsies, but he make the spectacular catches.
He makes it
With that,
spectacular and drops the
Hey,
basic.
Hey, the buttocks hit before the elbow. That's all I got to say.
That's right.
With that, we're gonna close the show and thank you, Lisa. Appreciate the support.
All right. Have a
With
good
that, we're
one,
gonna close the show
Lisa.
and everybody have a great night and take care.
All right.